You ever let a joke so hilariously and effectively take over your entire life that you're not quite sure what's real or fake anymore? What started off as a simple idea just quickly cascaded into becoming your near whole online personality, where your friends and family and online compatriots are starting to tell you, please stop, get help. No, me neither. I printed a giant Flexi-Rexi. Please send help. Hi, so in case you missed the 8.5 million view TikTok, I started printing a giant Flexi-Rexi. Now, I can't really call this a print in place because the point of a print in place project is to print it in place and you pick it up and it goes whee! But it's still a Flexi-Rexi because look at that, it still articulates. Now, I really don't remember because this has all been a little bit of a fever dream and I'm not quite sure what day it is at this point, but it started either on a Twitch stream or a Discord call where we were playing around with how big can we print something? Oh, these Flexi-Rexis are pretty funny. Cool. Oh, look at that. I can drop it in a mesh mixer and separate the shells. You know what, Frank? You have some big printers. Oh yeah, I have a CR10 Max. That's 450 by 450 by 470. I don't really care about the height, but I care about the width. How big can we make the head? The head is the biggest component, so however big we can make that, we can then fit the other components by breaking them up in mesh mixer. Yeah, that's what I did. And turns out, this is as big as you can make the head in one shot. Now, I obviously could make this the size of the Empire State Building by slicing this up into, no, I didn't want to do that. How big could I make the head? And right now, my CR10 Max is my biggest printer. Yeah, and I can already see you down in the comments, well, hey Frank, you know you can get a CR10 S5 and that's 500. I know there are bigger printers out there. I don't care. This is what I had. You make your own YouTube video, make your own Flexi-Rexi, and then come at me. I don't really want to hear it. So I want to take you through the little quick process of actually how to size this for however big your printer is, the way I broke it up in mesh mixer, and getting it on the printer. And then we're gonna actually fuse it together so we can finally see how tall this thing stands. Oh yeah, it glows in the dark. To the computer? Okay, here we are, computer time. Some of you guys don't like this, so if you're bored by the computer jumbo, mumbo, whatever the heck's going on here, just skip to this time stamp and we're already to the assembly, but whatever. Anyway, we're using this file from Thingiverse. This is the Flexi-Rex with stronger links. I don't know why the links are stronger. He said it, I didn't question him on it. Anyway, I grabbed this file and I dropped it into Mesh Mixer. Ooh, look at that, isn't that cool? Well, what's awesome about print and place stuff is typically you can just click on it, go to edit and hit separate shells. Now you can do this in a bunch of different programs. I'm pretty sure you can do this in Bamboo and Orca and 3D Builder. I'm using Mesh Mixer. I don't care, it works. Now we have it broken into different pieces, but the main part of this is the head. The head is the biggest part. So how big can we print the head on a printer? So let's export just the head and get that into whatever slicing program you want and just see how big we can scale it up. So I've started using something called Orca Slicer. It is based off of Bamboo Slicer, and you can see here I have the Bamboo P1P. That's really cool and awesome. So we're just gonna go and drop the head into it, and I don't know where I put it, where'd it go? There it is, that. So that's tiny, cool. So you can sit here and then drag this up and scale it up as big as possible on something like the P1P, and I don't know what I'm clicking. So that's how big we can print the head on a P1P, and the scale percentage is 366, 363, 630, 663% scale. That's huge, we're gonna go bigger. What's cool about Orca Slicer is you can now load in a bunch of different printers, and my biggest printer currently is the Creality CR10 Max. So I'm gonna now scale this up even more and just see, let's keep centering it, and then we're gonna move it like this, and I think we rotate it, we align this edge over here. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna align the edge kind of like that, and then we're gonna move it around like there. We're just gonna make it as big as possible. We can play with it a little bit more. I'm not gonna do that. This is fine. However, this is gonna use a lot of filament because this thing is tall. That is the biggest thing I realize is I wanna save some filament. So you can go to scaling and ununiform scale it. And this is 1,178%. I think I got it to 1,200. Hold on, let me put in 1,200 here. This fits, I know this fits. It fits, told you. So I'm gonna ununiform scale this, and I'm just gonna shrink this down. I don't remember what I went to. Maybe I could measure it, it's literally right. 100, I did that. I squished it down to 100 millimeters, and this saves a lot of filament because this cuts out all the infill and stuff. You're gonna need the same amount of top and bottom walls, or yeah, there's roof and the floor. You're gonna need the top layers and bottom layers. That doesn't change, and you can change that in your settings, whatever, I don't care. But this is how big we're gonna make it. So now we know 1,200%, and that's what we have to scale all of those other parts up to. Oh, also the cool thing about Orca is you can also add multiple build plates, and I've already gone and taken the liberty of exporting the parts we need. So we drop all these in, and then you can see here, and then I can select all of them, and then I can go to scale, and I can just type in 1200, and then it scales all of them up exactly how I want. Now, obviously I need to shrink them back down, so we do the non-uniform and we drop them to 100. Now everything is scaled exactly the same, and then you can just take all the pieces, and then you can drag and drop them and position them however you want on the build plate, and that's it. I think I gotta rotate this guy just a little. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna go through and get this all fit. Okay, that's it. A 1200% scale Flexi-Rexi, and I could now, you know, I should have thought of this before I printed it. I could have went and modified the links to come apart and click together. I didn't think that far ahead. We're gonna do some hacking and chopping on this one. I'm not reprinting this thing, but maybe in a future tutorial, what I could do is show you how to actually cut and remove these links off. And I already kind of developed this system in my head where they slot in and slot out, but I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna brute force it. It's gonna work great. But play around with your settings. I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna use on this, and then I'll talk about it after I modify it. So I'm gonna print this on a draft quality. I could also go up to probably a 0.28. I'm running a 0.4 millimeter nozzle on my CR10 Max. Whatever settings you wanna do, I don't care, just do them. Strength-wise, I did a 10% infill. Grid worked well for just how long and tall of a print was. Speed, you can increase your speed, whatever you trust your printer to do. This is running like 50 average. I probably could go up to 70 on a CR10 Max. If you're printing on something smaller or a high-speed printer, you can go way quicker than this. As for supports, no supports. If you're using Orca Slicer, make sure you turn off brim. Not that it would matter. These are so big that I don't think a brim would affect it, but you don't need any supports, nothing. Just make sure you have very, very good layer adhesion on that first layer when we go to print, because the last thing you want is this thing lifting after 4 days of printing and failing. Oh yeah, how long is this gonna take? That's taking more filament than it did last time. I don't know why. Did I do 5%? That's better. I did 5% infill because I remember that the head took a little over a roll, and then the back legs took a little over a roll, and then the tail and the hands took, yep, this is it. This is what I did. So do that. I didn't record the screen. Yes, I did. I definitely hit record, and I didn't just go back over and listen to myself talk that entire time and try to mimic the screen exactly how I recorded, because I just didn't want to talk and say all that stuff again. That's not what happened. I definitely hit record. Hey, so let's print this. Hey, so you guys know I already printed them. No, I don't have any footage of the time lapse because I wasn't gonna set up an 8-day time lapse in my garage, because that means I need to have a camera running for 8 days and also leave the lights on the entire time in here, and those shop lights are bright. If you guys really, if you really wanna see a time lapse of a Flexi-Rexi printing, here you go. That one wasn't cool enough? How about one in a different color? Are you guys sick of the snap thing? Of course you're not bored of it. 3D printing's cool to watch. I just didn't record this, and I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do another one in like rainbow colors, and I'll actually record that one. But if you want to see little tidbits of this, it's all on my TikTok. You can see it in its various stages. It's just big printing. And maybe if Elegoo sends me that massive new 800 by 800 by 1000 3D printer that they said they were gonna send me, and I build another shed in my backyard because I have nowhere to put it, I will absolutely do this again, but bigger. Looking for filament sponsors. So how am I gonna fuse this thing together? Basically, I'm just gonna cut it and glue it back together. But I don't want you guys to be able to see the cuts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hot wire, and we're gonna hop over, I'll probably do it right here actually, and I'm gonna cut the links, just cut a section right here out of it and lift it out. I should be able to then slide this in, it'll be linked up, and this flexes just enough for me to get the part back in there, and you're not gonna see it. The Flexi-Rexi is always gonna be on the side. No one's sitting here and doing this. If you are, go away. So it should let me do that. I might be able to PLA weld the parts back together or just use some good old super glue, but that should be enough to link this all together. So let's do that. All right, so for those of you that don't know, this is a hot wire. It's mostly used for foam cutting and foam craft. However, it can be used on 3D prints if done slowly. I'm not gonna do it exact. I want it to be a little bit of a pressure fit, which I think will be beneficial, but I think I'm gonna go right there. I'm really just using the weight of my hand, because if you push too hard, you will absolutely snap the wire, because this is a lot of plastic it's trying to get through. So I'm just gonna spend some time slowly sawing back and forth. And once you're through the walls and the top layers, it goes pretty quick, especially considering this is only 5% infill. But we're just gonna cut out these links, and hopefully my harebrained idea works. All right, we're through. So now I need to try to break out this link. And I'm melting plastic while I'm doing this, so the link is gonna be very resistant to coming out. Let's get pliers. I don't have pliers, but we're gonna just try to, I really need pliers. God, I don't wanna go to the garage. Ugh. I went to the garage and got pliers. It worked. It's a little cruddy, but that's fine, you're not gonna see it. So, with that out, theoretically, it's upside down. No one saw that. It works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and slot this piece into the back, because I don't think I'd be able to do it otherwise. And then push the link in like this. And look at that, I have access to it. I just have to line it up. Honestly, a buttload of super glue would probably do the same thing that I need a buttload of hot glue. Hot glue might work. Honestly, that's pressure fit in there so well. I won't need much to glue it, but oh my God, look at this. All right, I'm gonna keep going and just time lapse and get this all done. I'm so excited. Are you guys ready? So for comparison, this is a standard size Flexi-Rexi right here. It's not on camera. There it is. There you go. Standard size Flexi-Rexi, hand, iPhone for scale. Not that big. This is as big as I can print a Flexi-Rexi in one shot. I could make it a smidge bigger, but more or less this is like the max size. I think it's like 600% scale. I'm not sure. But again, pretty big, but and it stands up. That was the first time I did it. Yes! This is a 1200% scale Flexi-Rexi that also glows in the dark. I love it! The tail is currently touching the ground, and for anybody wondering, I am 5'8". Translate that to whatever this is in centimeters or inches, or in this case, feet. What is this, 3.5, 4 feet? If this has been a fun little journey for you guys, please leave some comments down below. Give me some ideas of what to max size next. I don't want to cut up the individual pieces. That's an easy out. Obviously, I can make this as big as I wanted if I did that, but the point is to keep the parts fairly cohesive, and I'm always open to some new ideas. I am trying to print a super long, flexible dragon on my belt printer, but that still has a lot of little things I got to figure out. But this was so much fun to do. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to the channel, guys. I have videos not like this coming out all of the time, but 3D printing tutorials and reviews and how to build props and cosplay. But I definitely had fun with this, and it's good to just unwind and have a goof every now and then. And this was definitely a lot of fun. It definitely made my Etsy shop blow up. So if you guys are interested in any of the little Rexis around the room, I am selling various sizes on my Etsy, and that has definitely helped fund these dumb little projects. So yeah, I'm gonna go put this somewhere. Sorry, headphone users. Don't you ever talk to me or my son again. It's so cool. I'm so happy I did this.